China has blocked another proposal by India and the United States at the United Nations. The proposal was to list Lashkar-e-Taiba leader Shahid Mahmood as a global terrorist, and China has put this on hold. This is the fourth time China has blocked India's move in the last few months. Our next report getting you the details.
The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is in India. On Wednesday, he paid tribute to the victims of the 26/11 terror attacks in Mumbai. He spoke to survivors of the attack and made a speech.
Terrorism is absolute evil. There are no reasons, no pretexts, no causes, no grievances that can justify terrorism. Terrorism is absolute evil, and terrorism has no room in today's world.
These were strong words by the UN Secretary-General, but are they backed by action? Let's look at what's happening at the UN. India and the US have proposed to list Lashkar-e-Taiba leader Shahid Mahmood as a global terrorist. This would be under the 1267 Al-Qaeda Sanctions Committee of the UN Security Council, but China put the proposal on hold. This is the fourth Indian proposal that China has blocked in the last few months. In June, China blocked the attempt to blacklist Abdul Rahman Makki. Makki is the brother-in-law of Lashkar-e-Taiba head and 26/11 mastermind Hafiz Saeed. The US has designated him as a terrorist. China blocked the proposal at the last minute. In August, China blocked the blacklisting of Abdul Rauf Azhar. Azhar is a senior leader of the terror organization Jaish-e-Mohammed. He had been sanctioned by the US as early as 2010, and the US says that in 2008, Azhar was assigned to organize suicide attacks in India. But that was not enough to stop Beijing from blocking his blacklisting. In September, China blocked the blacklisting of Sajid Mir. Mir is one of India's most wanted terrorists. He has a $5 million bounty on his head. The US placed this bounty for Mir's role in the 26/11 attacks. Makki, Mir and Mahmood all have links to the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the group responsible for the 26/11 terror attacks, the same attacks whose victims the UN Secretary-General paid tributes to. Guterres' speech on combating terrorism sounded great, but all these terrorists have escaped sanctions at the United Nations because China put the blacklist proposals on hold. This calls into question the UN's ability to actually crack down on terrorism. Why is one country allowed to block such moves? Why are Permanent Security Council members above scrutiny? Why should they get a veto? The rejection of blacklisting for political ends hampers the fight against terrorism. It also reveals the structural weakness of the UN in its present form. China's actions should be a wake-up call. They prove that the UN needs reform. The concentration of power needs to end. Certain countries cannot block others from combating terrorism. The UN Secretary-General said it himself.
Fighting terrorism must be a global priority for every country on earth, and fighting terrorism is a central priority for the action of the United Nations.
Bureau Report WION World is One.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.